Hi, I'm Sonnet with Sonnet's Garden Blooms. I want to welcome you all to my channel. Now in today's video, I am going to bring you along to the Yield Goat. We are going to do a quick booth reset. It was a very busy weekend over at the Goat. Things definitely got sold, misplaced. So it's time that we are going to just go in, move some stuff about, make things look different, and add a few new items. I don't have time to do a complete reset. This is just going to be a quick fluff is what I like to call it. After a very busy weekend at the Goat, I just grabbed a few items. I'm going to do what I like to call fluffing my booth. So I'm not going to do a major rehaul, just adding more items, doing an inventory on paint. I knew that I had sold some stuff, so I'm bringing more paint over, but we're just doing a little fluffing. So here's a peek at the booth from this angle. When you walk up to it, right away, first thing I noticed, my mannequin is all disheveled, and so are my t-shirts. So what we're going to do today is we are going to focus on this area of my booth first. I want to reset this and just make it look a little different by rearranging items in this area. So I'm going to start off by taking everything off of this display. So for starters, I brought everything in and I set it right next to the display. And now I am going to start by removing all the items from the tabletop. And we are going to just reset this to make it look fresh and new. So this is a lot of work doing these resets, but just moving things around in your booth, it's pretty amazing how quick things will sell just by rearranging and changing things up. So I'm just trying to find spots where I think I may put this eventually and not break things as well. So I'm clearing everything off, and what I want to do, or my vision here, is we are going to take that barn quilt and we are going to put a new barn quilt in this area. Initially, I had thought the orange in that barn quilt would definitely make the orange in the chairs pop. It was up there probably for a good week and a couple weeks, I would say. But I want to take it and pull this back, and we're going to change it by adding a black and white barn quilt to this vignette. And it's really going to make then the oranges pop, along with the flowers that I have in the vignette really pop as well. So for starters, I noticed on my back, there is a down feather stuck in my shirt and it's bothering me. So I'm sure I am going to see or hear comments from many others that I had a feather sticking out of the back of my shirt. But what we're going to do is we're just going to rearrange, and we're going to make like I said, the flower pots pop. I'm going to add a green barn star to it to make the greens pop as well. And now we're going to start adding things back in. So I'm going to take this platter with that top, the cake platter right there in center. And then I'm going to just start adding little pieces. So the white again from the birdhouse. And then I'm going to pull pieces from other areas of my displays and just bring it all together. So I have these little dishes, and I thought the yellow and the green would be perfect to bring out the colors in the pots. And then I also had these containers, and I thought at first they would be good there. Then I thought no. Then I had this, and I thought too much. It didn't have purple, so I pulled that back. But I did have some yellow cups in another display that I eventually bring over. And then I also brought that rolling pin. The green was a little different, but I still thought that would be perfect. So I added that in, and then the little yellow cups. So this is all coming together. The one thing I noticed is that people continuously pull my chairs out and they must sit on them. I'm not really sure, but I'm always, every time, coming back to my booth and tucking that back in. So I have that portion of the display done. I'm now going to focus on the shelves, and I'm just adding a little bit of pops of yellow with those containers and straightening things up. And then I'm going to add one other container to this shelf to just finish it up. And I'm just adding little touches here and there. And then I keep pulling other pieces back in areas of my booth where I think that I might use them. But this area is basically reset with just a few items. Now I'm going to focus on this dresser. If you remember from a couple flips ago, I did that. We're going to take the barn quilt that I had over in the other display and we're going to put it here. And the reason I'm doing that is because of the oranges in the platters that are on the dresser. And I know that there are blues in here too, but I also have this Hello Spring sign, and I think it will tie really well to that. So overall, I'm loving how this is looking, and just a couple little flips, and I really think that it makes the barn quilt and the Hello Spring sign pop on this dresser. So here's a little close-up peek of it, and I love it because it has the blue in the plates as well and the greens, so I think it really all ties really well together. And honestly, folks, I cannot believe that Hello Spring sign has not yet sold. On to the next area of the booth, and this is a potting bench that I've had in here for a bit. I think what I'm going to eventually do to the potting bench is just give it a real bright refresh. I think it needs a little color, so that's number one. Number two, I am just pulling items that I think are not necessarily needed on here any longer. Rearranging things. I'm taking the items and I'm setting them about in the booth, trying to figure out what other areas I can put those in. I hate taking things out of the booth unless I absolutely have to. I am taking out some items that I did discover that were a bit wintry yet. The spring is definitely in full gear here, and I am just rearranging things and playing around with how I want to place everything. Sometimes just moving things around and just replacing things, it all just comes together. And I always like to place things like on the top shelf in threes. It just looks, threes, fives, but up there. And I love that sun that I have up there. I like all the colors, how it's bringing out all the colors on all of the shelves with the yellows, the turquoises, the reds. And then I put that vintage blanket that I had, rolled that up. I put that in there. And in the end, I am absolutely loving how this has all turned out. This area of the booth is where I house my soap, and I definitely need to restock the soap, but look at what they have done to all my soap supplies. I don't understand what the reasoning behind messing everything up, and that's kind of something that I just have to always bite my tongue because it irritates the heck out of me that they just rummage through and it's like they don't care. Now, the last area of the booth here, I have to straighten up the shirts. And here is a final look at the booth restock. I love just going in and moving things around, but I did not show you this portion when I did the restock of this. Kind of boring, just restocked what paints I knew I was missing, took an inventory of what other paints I need to reorder and get in here. But here you can definitely tell I need to restock these soaps. I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today. It was definitely not quick. I always say I'm gonna get in there real quick, do a quick restock, refluff, but nothing is ever quick. I start in one area and I just keep moving things about. I want to make things new or look new and refreshed because I cannot always go in there and do a complete restock. It's just never possible. So, especially with 3 booths. So I try to get in there and just do a little fluff in, add a few new pieces, move things around, and make them look fresh. For Friday's video, we are back to flipping, guys. I cannot wait to show you a few items that I did this past weekend for the Antique Acres barn sale, which is coming up in May. I have been working diligently every single day trying to create new items, and it's all coming together. So Friday's video, I will definitely be showing you some painting items that I painted, some flips, maybe some new techniques. I don't know. We'll see. I have lots in the works, and I cannot wait to see you guys all Friday. Bye.